Hi, I'm John Boyce, and this is my son, Robert Boyce. And Robert is in a retirement home. Robert moved in here January 1, and it's been about just a little over 6 months that Robert's been in here. Before, he lived with his mom and dad, as in myself and my wife Mary, in our home. He did his program there as well, but for some reason we felt that he needed a little bit more interaction. As most of us, as we grew up, we knew that it was time to leave home, and we felt that that was needed for Robert as well. And this was the solution that we came forward with. Mary and I looked at some different options. We looked at, of course, the group home. We also looked at the apartment. And as many of you know, that in the special needs environment, DSO needs to say that it's okay to move into a group home. They have to say that that's the spot for Robert. So really that wasn't an option. Wait list of at least anywhere from 5 to 10 plus years. We're thinking about the different things that Robert needed for him to be successful in his independent life, and what environment here gives that success and bridges those gaps as far as cooking, as far as laundry, as far as security, as far as somebody being around 24/7, being able to easily make friends, to have people around, not to have a changing roommate or a revolving door. And we felt that the retirement home already provides those options already, and allowing the freedom for Robert to come and go as he pleased if he so desired. Yeah, we'll set up some bowling and we'll have some fun. How's that? Oh, you're a big bowling ball. Some of you might be wondering what happens in it, the day of the life of Robert. This is more through a Friday through Sunday kind of deal, since in the through the week he goes to his program outside of here. Get up time is somewhere around 7 a.m. He has an alarm clock which gets him up, and from there he has a worker that comes and helps him with his shower, shaving, brushing his teeth, and then he goes and he has breakfast, and he's all ready to go by about probably 7:45 to wait for paratranspo. Through the weekend, then he spends a day with, if there's an activity or an outing, he does the same things that the residents do. He will play games as far as doing crosswords or bingo, bowling, as we've seen. They have other activities as well that happen. They have music groups that come in, and he'll sit and listen to them and sing with them. Then lunch. Sometimes then he'll go to his room. He'll sit here and watch TV as well. In the TV room, they'll watch movies in here in the evenings, of course, with the appropriate popcorn. Some of the activities happen here, some out in the main lobby. They'll do bowling, Scrabble. They have a shuffleboard in here as well. They'll do bingo, crossword puzzles, sandbag. They have actually out in the main lobby, they have a basketball net, and that's set up so they can shoot some hoops. So it's quite an extensive program. They have a craft room downstairs as well. So I don't know if Robert takes part in that, but I'm sure that at times that he goes down and does some of the arts and crafts downstairs. He basically is a part of whatever the residents are doing. He's a resident here too, and he's doing the same things. There goes the head shake. Reflecting upon looking at moving forward in this kind of situation, I think you really have to have a good understanding of what your son and daughter could do or can't do, what the gaps are, as well as any behavioral traits. In a residence, granted, it is a very structured environment. It's government sanctioned. They have to go through an accreditation process, and the longest renewal is normally for 3 years. And so you have a very good structured environment for people that are at risk. And that one of the things that you need to look at is certainly does their personality mesh? Are they quiet, or are they rambunctious? Are they physically aggressive, or are they passive? These are certainly things that the home would ask you as far as, is this a right fit? There's a lot of frail old people here in walkers, canes, and wheelchairs, and have to consider that this is their home as well. And some of you are wondering about cost. It certainly is one of the things that we certainly were looking at as well. And being self-funded is certainly one of those things that is kind of tough, especially with the amount that ODSP gives. For some of you, just as an FYI, that because room and board is included, it continues as though he was still living at home as far as your funding. You don't get to go up in a higher level as if he had to buy his own groceries. Cost for us is around $3,000 a month. We looked at it as that if we were to rent Robert an apartment here in the Ottawa area, we're looking at in the neighborhood of $1,100 a month. Sometimes you can get a little bit less, but then sometimes a little bit more. The other thing is that $3,000 includes his food, includes his laundry, includes the cleaning of his room, includes his internet, includes his cable TV, includes his phone, as well as some of the cues that is required to help him live a normal life. So we looked at that as certainly advantageous, as opposed to us opening our own numbered company to have staffing come in and out of his apartment, or finding that a university or a college student going through in spec ed or in a related field to special needs to be his helper at home, and having that revolving door as it changes. Instead, that we felt that this was a much more cost-effective, as well as a less headache for us. That it certainly gives Robert that peace that he requires. One of the things that Robert gets exposed to, a lot of things that makes him happy and enjoys it, is he certainly is a very sociable person, and he gets to do so many things and gets to experience a lot of different things with the people that come here, but also the people that live here. They have a lot of experiences at old trucks, older ways of life. He enjoys watching and participating in golf, basketball. He also likes to shoot some hoops and do some golf and a little bit of bowling. Yeah. So he gets to experience a lot of things here, even at a recreational level. And it's sometimes hard whenever they give you the deck of cards, and you really want the joker, because that gives you the high trump kind of deal. And we always need to look outside of that, and not just what works for me, but I think what's more important is what works for Robert, and what enables him to be able to live life as independently as what possibly he can, with a certain amount of structure, but still having the freedom to be able to express himself. It certainly is a hard thing as a parent, because we have a tendency to always talk for our kids, and we think we know what's best. But so many times it isn't until they're out on their own that you find out who they really are, and how they can really develop and interact and have that socialness and the appropriate being social, as well as the fact that the support of other people. And sometimes in the group home, it doesn't necessarily give that same level of support, because of the type of clientele that are in there, that it doesn't, you don't have the ability to create that mesh. Here, with there's so many residents being involved, there is always going to be, there might be the odd conflict, but with the number of people, it gives that ability to create some kind of mesh with a greater majority than just a few. That we haven't figured out what would be the best time for him to venture back home, because we want to make sure that he understands and he wants this to be his home, and he hasn't expressed an interest to say whenever we go out the door to follow us. It's always been bye and see you later kind of deal, and he'd go down to his room or in for his meal. We know that coming home won't be a big deal for him. So we're looking at more to make it a special time, as when it's more than just maybe Mary and I there, that it's has some of either his friends or the other part is with his extended family, his grandparents or his brother coming home to be able to do something of that nature, and to make sure that he comes back here so he knows that to really secure himself that this is his home and not going to be ripped out and put someplace else. It's a nice old truck, eh? It's much older than you. It's older than me. I don't know if Grandpa Boyce had one of those. He might have. I know he had a 51 or 52 Dodge Y. I don't know if he ever had a Chev. He's always been a Dodge man.